In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, may all thanks be to Allah, Lord of all, and may Allah the Almighty bestow His peace and blessings on our Prophet Muhammad, the last and the Imam of all messengers, the mercy to the world, and upon his kind and pure kin, and his loyal companions, and all who follow till Judgment Day. Furthermore, my dear viewers, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you, and I welcome you to this new episode in the realm of the Holy Quran, to reap from its fruits and gain from its perfumes. What helps us in becoming between the nations, helps us have a more important role, a leading role. In continuation to my previous discussion with you on the duties of the scholars and the duties of the nation, to come to the aid and support of this holy book, especially that we are reading or read about the accusations and false statements made about the Holy Quran, by implication or declaration. Accusations about the composition of the word and letter of the Quran, or accusations regarding the Holy Quran as the source for legislation and laws, and what is linked to the Holy Quran, of its great composition. There are many misleading hearsay that was spread by the adversaries of Islam, and on their footsteps and to follow them. Some of the fools went along with them, some who have no mind, and are with no faith, who followed them and went behind them, and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had said, "You will follow the path of those who came before you, each step on the way, till they enter a hole of a lizard, and you will follow suit." Yes, there are some articles that are published that we read in some newspapers and other flyers, and we even find in some magazines, local and otherwise, and we even read in some books that are written and printed for the sole purpose of throwing doubt, to throw doubt in the honesty of the messenger, peace and praise be upon him, and the genuine message he came with. They say that the Quran that you claim is a book from Allah the Almighty and is composed with a miraculous literary text, and has claimed an esteemed rank, is weak in wording. And there are some redundant words, and some words put there needlessly, and some other words that are not necessary to be there at all. For example, and I will go over some of what they say. They say that the Holy Quran mentions penalty in regard to the pilgrim who cannot do an animal sacrifice. They say that the Holy Quran says he should observe fast 3 days during the Hajj, and 7 days after his return, making 10 days in all. Behold this repulsive nonsense. They say, is this a way with words that suits and ranks up with the standard that you claim and ask for your book? They say a kid, a very small child in kindergarten, or someone with elementary education, if you ask him what is the total of 3 plus 7, he will say 10. So why this endeavor? Why this way of saying things? Could it not just be said, he should observe fast 3 days during the Hajj and 7 days after his return, without adding something else? And it is understood. Why say more? Why to say, making 10 days in all? Would the reader or the listener not understand? Would he not be able to add these two numbers and find their sum? The listener would not know how much is 3 and 7. That is what they say, but they only look at the words and the text, without regard to the wisdom beyond this legislative verse. The listener may think that he is asked if he goes to Hajj or performed Hajj, and was not able to do an animal sacrifice, that he is requested to fast for 3 days while in Hajj if he wanted to fast there, or fast 7 days a week if he wanted to do so when he has returned. In comparison to what he may do when he prays to prostration while traveling, and 4 if he was at home. So the reader or listener may think he has a choice, as he can while traveling, a choice to fast 3 days in Mecca while in Hajj, or to fast for 7 days when he had went home, meaning he may draw a resemblance or similarity between the prayers on the man traveling or on the road where he prays 2 prostration instead of 4, and him fasting either 3 or 7 days, depending on his status. For this, the extra text was there. Extra? No, I say, it is a must-be text, not an extra text, for us to understand that fasting 3 days in Hajj are not in any way and cannot be in lieu of fasting 7 days when gone home. So these are 10 days in total, so to compensate for the penalty of the animal sacrifice, if cannot be done, is to fast 3 days in Hajj and 7 days at home. So saying 10 days is to prevent anyone from thinking it is one or the other as done in the prayers, because drawing analogy is not correct in this case. So it is 10. So the words of saying that it's an extra unneeded words is a total nonsense and meaningless. That is with no substance or good. A total foolishness. Such foolishness was also said about another verse of the Holy Quran when Allah the Almighty said, "They say with their tongues what is not in their hearts." They say, why say with their tongues is extra or unneeded? Meaning, why say it? Why say? They say with their tongues what is not in their hearts. Why not just say they say what is not in their hearts? Why is it so important to say with their tongues? And it is very well known that saying is only done with the tongue. So why say with their tongues? And in another verse, they say with their mouths. It is well known that words and speech come out of the mouth, and it comes out from this part of the human body, which is the mouth and tongue. So why is it necessary to say their tongues or mouths? What is the need to say it at all, if there is any? If you have realized what a true Arab did, or what was realized and understood by who are with a proper Arab tongue, so this is there for a reason that is well understood by the Arabs with true Arabic tongues. As I have said, to say is to inform and to relay information, not only by speech, but also by doings and by gestures. This is what to say means, and what an Arab would understand from it. Arabs would say, he said this with his hand, or this is how he said it, when he moved his hand or nodded. So this is to say by action, to say by gesturing, and to say what you want by other means other than speech. So there are other ways of saying. Arabs say, he said this way with his cane, or say this is how he said it with his body language. So saying here refers to saying by action, and to differentiate between the two, between a saying by speech and a saying by action. This word specifically to state that it is a saying by speech and not by other means of action, of gesture. They say with their tongues what is not in their hearts. We find this in other verses of the Holy Quran, not only in this verse. As Allah Almighty said, there is not a moving creature on earth, nor a bird that flies with its 2 wings, but are communities like you. They say, why say, flies with its 2 wings, when we all know that it is well-known fact of nature. It is known that a bird will use its 2 wings to fly. We know birds use their wings to fly. So why say flies with its 2 wings? Why not just say, nor a bird that flies? we leave you for a short break, and we will continue soon. Before the break, we stopped at the verse from Surah Al-An'am. There is not a moving creature on earth, nor a bird that flies with its two wings, but our communities like you. We have neglected nothing in the book. And we mentioned some of the allegations that were spread by some fools and rookies from our kin and countrymen who speak our tongue. They said it was true. What the adversaries say is true. What the enemies of Islam say is true. What good is it to say flies with its two wings, while we already know that a bird uses its wings to fly? What good is it to say that? I say if we read through this text, through the verses, meaning what came before and after as was established by the scholars of Islam, if we wanted to understand the text of the Holy Quran, it is a must that we give the proper consideration to the leads, the preceding and the following texts. Allah Almighty's verse right before this says, "And they said, why is not a sign sent down to him from his Lord? Say, Allah is certainly able to send down a sign." These people are demanding a miracle, and they said, why is not a sign sent down to him from his Lord? Say, Allah is certainly able to send down a sign, but most of them know not. There is not a moving creature on earth, nor a bird that flies with its two wings, but are communities like you. Here the Holy Quran is challenging them with a different miracle, challenging them with something that has to do with the Quran itself. Nor a bird that flies with its two wings. Nor a bird that flies with its two wings. As if this verse has news. As long as you are asking for a miracle, I will tell you about one. A miracle that has no presence in your time, in your existence. It may not be in your time, but I have news for you that is related to the future. That this nation will hold the means of science and invention, means for things that were not known, things that are not in your power and not within your capability. At your time, like airplanes, it flies and it has two wings. But does it fly with its wings only, or are there other means involved, with other high-tech and advanced means that make these machines fly? So it is as if the text has a hint to what will be in the future, of what those people did not know about. For that Allah said, Allah Almighty flies with its two wings, and what emphasizes this meaning is the composition of the verse and its ending. What did Allah say? Allah the Almighty said, nor a bird that flies with its two wings, but are communities like you. And what Allah said after that? We have neglected nothing in the book. We have neglected nothing. We may not think, my dear viewers, that we have neglected nothing in the book is limited to the composition and letter of the Holy Quran's verse of, there is not a moving creature on earth, nor a bird that flies with its two wings, but are communities like you. Then Allah Almighty says we have neglected nothing in the book. Why would such a verse be needed then? Life as known by man in those ages was not to be explained in this fashion, does not need to be elaborated in such a way. Those people did not know anything about this. They demanded a miracle, and Allah Almighty gave them this verse, meaning this verse must have a miracle. The miracle being in knowing what their future will bring, as in another verse. Allah Almighty says, Allah does not like that the evil should be uttered in public of saying, except by him, who has been wronged. Towards the beginning of the episode, we talked about to say is to inform and to relay information, not only by speech, but also by doings and by gesture. This is what to say means, and what an Arab would understand from it. So here in this verse, those foolish people raise an accusation against Allah's words again. Allah Almighty says, Allah does not like that the evil should be uttered in public, except by him who has been wronged. Meaning, what good is it to put of saying in this verse? Why did Allah the Almighty say of saying? I say this because uttered means voiced or spoken. Uttered is spoken. To utter is to express or speak. So why does the verse say of saying? Why does it say? Allah Almighty says, Allah does not like that the evil should be uttered in public, of saying except by him who has been wronged. Did the verse need to have both uttered and of saying? I say this is a great hint to the many great hints of the Holy Quran, and a proof of the revelation. I said that to say is to inform and to relay information. So to say is to inform by speech or other means. The Holy Quran and Allah the Almighty would not call on people to committing wrongdoings and quarrel with words and cuss each other out. The Holy Quran does not permit us to face ignorance by the same, not to face bad mouth with the same, not to cuss and curse who direct such profanity at us. So we may not think, my dear viewers, that when Allah said, Allah Almighty except by him who has been wronged, is an exception from Allah does not like that the evil should be uttered. Because this would mean that Allah does not allow anyone to cuss and curse anyone else. But if you were dealt such profanity, then you are allowed to cuss back. No, no, no. This is not allowed. And not meant at all. You may not cuss or curse back. This is wrong. This is a wrong understanding of the verse. Allah Almighty says Allah does not like that the evil should be uttered in public of saying, meaning to inform. Let us compare two things to make it simpler. A man cusses another man. Is it okay or allowed for the other man to return the cussing or cursing back? No, I say no. So the exception is not from Allah Almighty's verse, Allah does not like that the evil should be uttered in public. The exception is from of saying, meaning if you see someone cussing out or cursing someone, then Allah does not like for you to tell on that. As in relaying information or transferring this news. But if this cussing and injustice happened to you from someone, then you may speak or say that it happened, not by cussing or cursing back, no, but to explain about the injustice that happened to you, whether by words, deeds, or any other kinds of injustice. Someone cussed you, called you names, cursed you, spoke about you, and you want to have justice done. You go to the authorities or to the responsible person to say to him what took place of cussing or else, and to tell him what was done to you, that you were told so and so and so. He cursed me and he cussed me. This is what is meant by to utter in public what is evil, meaning of saying what harm was done to you, so as to utter the evil and say it, as it explains what injustice was done to you and what happened to you. Not in going and treating people with the same. The Holy Quran does not allow this. Islam brings up Muslims on good values, and does not want for Muslims or people to be degraded, to stoop low to the level of such actions, even when dealt injustice, even when hurt. Islam does not want to degrade mankind by cussing back and curse these who treat him badly. Someone is slandered in newspapers, ill-treated, cussed, cursed. Islam does not say go face insult with the same insult. No, Islam doesn't tell you to meet insult with insult or go cuss someone. But it says, go and tell the authorities. Tell them what took place, what happened. Someone cussed you. By doing so, you are not doing evil. But it was as information to tell facts. It might seem hard, but when Allah opens the portals for understanding, we will understand. And may Allah bestow His peace and blessings upon our Prophet Muhammad. Peace and prayers be upon him and his honorable kin.